Swans Over Charlevoix, Act 2, Scene 1. The cottage is dimly lit and the thunder continues to be heard in the distance. William is in his wheelchair at the table working his puzzle while Lenny stands at the window. Lying on the chaise lounge underneath a blanket is the injured young woman, Stacey Empleton. She is delirious and weakened from her car accident. Lenny has already washed and clothed her in one of her nightgowns and robes. Stacey is softly and mumbling as Lenny looks over her shoulder at her. She doesn't appear to have any serious breaks or open wounds, but only having signs of having a concussion. Lenny moves to her, placing a wet hand towel on her forehead. "It's all right. Settle down. You've been hurt. Be still now. You need to be calm." Stacey has her eyes shut and is moaning.
"No, don't go."
"I've got you. I won't let anything happen to you. You have nothing to fear. You're safe now. I won't hurt you. Do you know where you are?" Stacey suddenly sits upright. She speaks softly as if in a dream.
"Why?"
"Do you remember what happened to you?
"No,
Do you know your name?"
I don't know."
"Your name is Stacey."
"You have pretty eyes."
"So do you." "Lenny? She seems too delirious and seems docile enough." "William, she must have amnesia." "Lenny, see if you can sit her at the table and give her something warm to eat. She must be hungry and thirsty for something to drink." Lenny guides her to the table and sits her across from William. "Are you hungry, Stacey?" Stacey doesn't answer. "Bring something for her anyway, Lenny. I have some hot soup on the stove for you. Sit here and I'll be right back, Stacey." Lenny exits into the kitchen, leaving William alone with Stacey. "You gave us quite a scare coming in like that." Lenny bathed you with a warm, wet cloth and dressed you in her pretty nightgown and robe. As soon as the telephone lines are up, we'll get you to a doctor. Would you like that? The bad weather will keep us together, but you're safe now. I'm William. Do you remember your name?"
"No."
"Good. You communicate. And in time, you'll know your name. Do you recall your car accident?"
"No."
"There's nothing to worry about it. Here comes Lenny with your soup." Lenny enters carrying a bowl of soup. "Here you go. Take the spoon and eat some nice hot minestrone before it cools off." Stacey stares at it like in a trance and not picking up her spoon. "Lenny, I think she has a concussion. We shouldn't let her sleep until a doctor can see her." Lenny picks up the spoon and begins feeding her. "William, we can't keep her from sleeping. If she's here for a day or two, and I don't understand it." "What don't you understand, Lenny? She doesn't look like a William cuts her thought. "Shh! We need to be careful. She may understand more than we think." "I can't imagine her doing anything like that, can you?" Lenny, we need to be careful not to step into this madness, and we don't know the details at all. Look at me, William. I haven't fed anyone like this since Trina was a little girl. Do you remember how she hated eating spinach and squash and would throw it all over the table? Yes, she looked like a little painted clown with green and orange food smeared all over her face. Oh, William, why didn't you ever feed her? I once tried, but she screamed for her mama. Look at her. I wonder what's going on in her head right now. Whatever it is, Lenny, it is a blessing. For if she remembered, it might not be so pleasant for all of us. If the roads weren't flooded, we could take her to a hospital. Lenny, we have no choice. And we just need to wait out the storm, because there's nothing else we can do. Stacey slowly stands up at the table. There's a clap of thunder. Lenny moves to her side. What are you seeing, Stacey? Lenny, she looks like Trina when she was a young girl standing at the window staring at the raindrops. Yes, she does, William, and it will be daylight soon.
Martha?
Who's Martha?
Martha.
Is that your little daughter's name?
Martha?
Who is she, Stacey? Lenny, she only remembers bits and pieces now. We'll have to wait for her memory to come back, and if it ever does, we might be sorry, though. Don't scare me, William. Looking into her eyes, I see her reaching out to someone. Perhaps. So let her stand there if she does, Lenny, seeing someone she knows. She's remembering. I see it in her eyes, William. Make sure that you do not only want her seeing someone, Lenny. It's my woman intuition, William. I know she's screaming inside. Yes, if it comforts you, so be it. But be prepared for the unknown moment that might crawl on your back. I learned that lesson in Sicily, fighting the Nazis. Then he puts her arm around Stacey. What do you see, Stacey? Is there someone talking to you that you know? Lenny, she's delirious, and be careful. Who are you seeing, Stacey?
It's foggy. My eyes hurt. They're burning. I can't see. My eyes are burning.
Why? Why are they burning, Stacey?
I can't remember. I can't remember. I can't remember. I can't remember. I can't remember.
Stacey collapses into Lenny's arms, forcing them to the floor. Are you all right, Lenny? Yes, William, I think so. What now? I can't pull you or her up. I can manage, William. I have a back as strong as a mule. Why a mule? I don't want to be bragging, saying a horse. You married a modest wife, William, so let's drop it, because it doesn't really matter. But it is all about her now. You should have been a nurse, Lenny. No, a doctor. because they make more money, and I could hopefully cure you all by myself. Stacey opens her eyes.
Who are you?
I'm Lenny, and I'm your friend, Stacey.
You are?
Yes, and you're in our home, and over there is my husband, William.
Why are you calling me Stacey?
Lenny helps picking her off the floor. That's your name.
Where am I?
You're in our home in Charlevoix.
How did I get here?
You had a bad car accident. Stacey moves slowly around the room as they both carefully watch her. Lenny, what time is it? It's nearly 5:30. Good. It will be light soon. Lenny whispers to William, don't let her think she's not wanted. Lenny, did I say something wrong? Lenny moves close to William so they can whisper together. Shh. God only knows what's going on in her head. If she grows violent, I'm afraid I won't be able to protect you, William. Yes, let's hope for the best, that it never happens to us. She allegedly murdered her own daughter, Lenny. And then what can happen? She's with us now, William. So we treat her like our own daughter and not like an animal. All right, Lenny. All right. But you're too kind to be living in a world of roving lions. The lights dim slowly to black, with Lenny and William looking at Stacey standing and looking out the window, with raindrops streaming down the transparent glass. Act 2, Scene 2. It is morning, and the lights slowly rise on Lenny, holding the phone, as William is by the window drawing. Stacey is not seen, but is in the back bedroom. Are the lines still down? Yes. Nothing out or in. We're all alone, William. She hangs up the receiver. What do you suppose is keeping them? They usually have them fixed by now. Perhaps, Lenny, they might have gone down to Florida on vacation. Don't be silly. We have a sick woman in our bedroom and she needs care. How are you doing, my Mr. Funny Man, who laughs even when the ceiling roof is caving in? I'm a little tired, but feeling fine, Lenny. Have you checked in on her? Yes, she's sleeping, but I'm worried about her. And us. What about us, Lenny? When she wakes up, she may remember her daughter and what she might have done to her, William. I was just thinking that too. I know this does sound crazy, Will, but I thought tying her down on the bed might give us more security. Yes, it would, but something tells me we shouldn't do that, Lenny. It's you I'm worried about, Will. I can run out of the house if we have to, but you're defenseless in your wheelchair. Is a roof falling in on you? Am I having a stroke right now? Is she going to murder us? Lenny, we don't truly know anything at all. But what we can do is to be patient. William, it sounds like the right thing to do, but this isn't a normal condition for us now. Let me to tell you something, Lenny. I never told you before. Is this the time to tell stories, Will? Yes. It is the perfect time, and especially this particular story, Lenny. I was young, but not stupid, and winter snow was falling like a frozen waterfall, filling our trenches in the Battle of the Bulge, with the Nazi tanks coming from everywhere. It was severely cold that day, and my 3 other friends started complaining of the coldness as we all cuddled together to stay warm. We had a choice that day. The first choice was to keep our heads down and suffer the cold from the snow that might kill us overnight if we didn't get any wood to burn and save us in our trench. Robert, my closest friend, just jumped out of the trench to find wood for us. And he ran, but he didn't reach the trees of the forest and was cut down by a Nazi machine gun from a tank. Without any thinking, I too stood up before I began to run to Robert. My 2 other friends grabbed me and didn't let me go. I cried and I screamed, Lenny, by losing my best friend who was all alone, and my 2 other friends were crying too, and later on I realized that they had cooler heads than me, and they saved my life that day. Oh, my sweet man. You were too young to see the realities that war brings to men. But there is no war for us today, William. And I can't stop hearing Myron saying she murdered her daughter. But we don't know she murdered her child, Lenny. And to make a drastic decision might make things worse than before. I agree, Will. I don't see her as a murderer, only as a frightened young woman who has lost her daughter. There is a moment of silence. When do you suppose Myron will return, Lenny? Soon, I hope. We've lived a sheltered life, haven't we? I suppose. But we've provided Trina a good life. We have friends who love us, and we've kept our noses clean. Can life be any better than that, Lenny? Why didn't you marry me before you went overseas to fight the Nazis? It's obvious. There was a war to fight, and I knew I might not come back to you. I would rather have been a widow with your last name, though, if you didn't come home. What is this, Lenny? After all these years, why now do you tell me this? I never told you how frightened I was the day you left me, William. It wasn't as if I was going on a luxury cruise vacation to the Bahamas. I had no choice. Do you ever wonder how we're going to be remembered when we're gone, William? What kind of talk is this? We're still living, Lenny. Don't bury us. Bad things happen. Without warning, William. You've told me that before. Yes, death can be very impatient. Why didn't we talk about these things when we were young, Will? Were we stupid or just smart to let things go when we became older? We were too busy living, though, having a baby and dreaming what tomorrow would bring. I never want us to die, William. Everyone wants that, Lenny. But life's harsh reality comes knocking on everyone's doors one day. Are you afraid, my sweet husband? At times. But I throw it over my shoulder because I don't know what tomorrow brings. So it's silly to be frightened when you can't touch and see. It's in the middle of the night when I'm most vulnerable, William. You can always wake me up and be your knight to protect you from the dark and the unknown, Lenny. I often look at you in the moonlight and count our blessings when looking at your face. I watch your chest rise up and down with each of your breaths and listening your snoring as they escape out of your mouth. William, I wonder what it will be like if I never see you again. We once met. We fell in love. We built our lives together, brought our daughter into the world we love, and then one day we depart without having any permission from us. And that is life, Lenny. Will we lose each other forever? Lenny, listen to me. It was a miracle that brought us together, and undoubtedly it can also keep us together. This is what I like to believe. The telephone rings and Lenny quickly answers it. Trina, it's you! Thank God we hear your voice. Yes, the phone lines were broken. Yes, the rivers have flooded the roads, but they are better now. Yes, good. And are you coming? William, Trina is on her way. What? Trina? He is? He called you? And William Myron will be here soon. There is a knock at the front door. He's here! Trina, I have to let him in. Yes, drive carefully. Yes, we'll see you soon. Another knock is heard. I've got to go, Trina. Yes, Trina, I love you too. Yes, goodbye. Lenny, open the door. Don't be a smart mouth. I'm going, will ya? I'm going. Lenny exits. Myron, come in. Don't worry about your wet boots on the floor. They'll dry. Come on in. Lenny enters the room with Myron. Are you all right, sir? You're a welcome sight, Myron. I see you both made it safely through the storm. Yes, we have a surprise for you, Myron. Yes. Tell him, Lenny. No, you tell him, Will. Myron, The woman you've been looking for is lying in our bedroom. Really? She's here? Yes, in our bedroom. She came here yesterday. Take me to her, Lenny. Yes, follow me. Lenny and Myron exit as William looks out the window. He once again has heavy eyelids and becomes drowsy. The young girl appears with him, turning slowly to her. They silently look upon one another. When Myron soon enters the room, she disappears. Myron notices William's eyes are shut and moves by his side. Are you all right, sir? Yes, I think so. I just felt a little drowsy from all the excitement, I guess. Can I get you a drink? No, I'm all right. What's Lenny doing? She's getting the young woman ready so I can take her to the hospital. You're not going to take her to jail? No. Why not? The person who killed her daughter is in custody right now. Who then? It was her boyfriend. He was crossing into Canada when we apprehended him. She followed him in her car, following him when she must have slid off the dirt and watered flooded road, crashing into an oak tree. He confessed killing her daughter. That's good to hear. Myron, what was her daughter's name? Martha. Now I know her name. Martha. Lenny enters. Myron, she's ready for you. Myron exits to the bedroom. Lenny, you were right to treat her like a human being instead of like an animal. I'm just glad she wasn't a murderer, Will. Did you know her daughter's name was Martha? Yes, Will, I knew. I'll go now and help Myron, okay? Martha. Her name was Martha. Lenny goes to the bedroom. Martha appears once again and holds William's hand. Soon Myron and Lenny take Stacey to his car while Martha lets go of William's hand, and she too walks backwards and waving goodbye to William. Lenny soon returns, standing in the kitchen doorway. I saw Martha, Lenny. When? When Myron and you were in the bedroom, she was standing where you are. Were you dreaming again, Will? Not this time, Lenny. And you saw her? Yes. How can that be? I don't know. She moves to him. And you think it was her daughter? There are many stories like this, and it's hard, Lenny, for me to believe it. But I had one time saw someone dead. Who was the person you saw, William? It was Robert, my good friend. When I was walking through the forest one morning, and the sunshine rays were slicing through the tree branches and making me squint my eyes. And then over there, peeking around an oak tree, was Robert saying to me, I'm warm now, William. I'm glad you didn't follow me. and we can share stories now like we did before when we meet together once again, my dear friend. He went back behind the tree, and I ran to it, and he was gone just like that. What other explanations do we have, Will? Once, when I was a young girl staying overnight at my grandma's house, she put me in my grandpa's bed. He had died only months before. As I was falling asleep, something made me open my eyes. And there, standing at the end of the bed, was my grandpa. I pulled the covers up to my chin and watched him smile at me and quietly walked out from the room. When I woke up in the morning, it seemed only like a dream. And after telling my grandma about it at breakfast, she smiled and said, "You saw him too?" Lenny, with the sky above us that has no ending, and I guess stranger things has happened all around us, we too saw and heard things that are miracles. The lights slowly dim into black. The lights rise on William drawing at the window with Myron sitting at the table. It's early evening on the same day and they just finished having dinner. Trina enters and pours coffee in Myron's cup as Lenny enters. "We're going to have dessert in a minute, Will, and do you want me to put your drawing pad away for you?" "I suppose so. But is it sugarless dessert?" "No complaining, Mr. Sugarman. You're lucky if you get anything. Here, give me your pad to me." She takes it from him and puts it away and returns to the kitchen. William wheels himself to the table.
"Papa, Mama has something special for you."
"If it's not sweet, she can feed it to the squirrels outside."
"Turn it up, Mama. Myron, let's dance."
"Trina, we just finished eating and I had a double
No,
serving."
get up. I don't want Papa waiting until our wedding to see us dance.
"It's no hurry, Trina, if your bloated husband-to-be doesn't want to dance."
Myron, do you love me?
"You already know the answer."
Don't disappoint me. Please, just this one dance.
"Who's the policeman? Him or you?"
Don't interrupt, Papa. Please do this for me, Myron.
Myron stands and walks to her, and they begin to dance. "You never should have stopped her for speeding, Myron. You might as well turn in your badge now." Lenny enters the kitchen doorway, watching them slowly dancing around the floor. "William, does that remind you of anyone?" "Yes, Lenny. We were better dancers than they are, but they're just as in love, Will."
I heard that, Papa. Here, Mama, show Myron how he's supposed to dance.
Trina takes Lenny by the hand and puts her with Myron, and they began to dance. "Be careful, Myron. She has a treacherous habit of stepping on one's toe."
That's not true, Papa. She's a wonderful dancer. Look at them.
The music soon comes to an end with everyone clapping and laughing. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, Lenny. You're wonderful. I haven't danced with a man at Myron's age in how many years, William? "Oh, we're too old to remember. I can't count 2 + 2 = 5. Everybody to the table for the dessert, and that means you, Mr. Sugarman. Lenny, your daughter said you have a surprise for me. What is it? Yes, I do. And you'll just have to wait patiently, Will. They sit around the table as Lenny exits into the kitchen. Have you heard anything about Stacey, Myron? She has a few internal injuries, but not too serious, but she's mostly mentally exhausted and should be in the hospital for at least a week or two. Her family from Ohio arrived before I left, and it brightened her up a bit.
Myron, why was Martha murdered?
The case is still under investigation, and so not many details have circulated, but there is one rumor being passed around. Lenny enters and sits at the table. Our dessert will be ready in a few minutes.
Thank you, Mama.
Myron, what might that rumor be? Stevie's neighbors overheard many arguments coming from her apartment over the last few weeks, and one particular neighbor mentioned Stacey telling her that she was frightened by her boyfriend. The relationship had soured, and she wished to dissolve their relationship in a delicate way. Were they living together? No, sir, they weren't. He lived in Boyne City. You know what happened that night? He came to her apartment wanting to talk, and she let him know their relationship was over. He was drunk and became enraged, throwing furniture around the room, and in his madness, he grabbed Martha and violently... That's enough, Myron. There is a moment of silence.
Yes, I too don't want to hear any more, Myron.
I'm sorry, Lenny. I'm sorry. Lenny rises and moves into the kitchen. Your mama is a sensitive woman.
So am I, Papa.
Lenny enters carrying a boysenberry pie to the table. Here is your favorite pie, Myron. And where's my surprise, Lenny? Be patient, William. Lenny takes a knife and cuts a slice of pie and places it on a small plate. This is for you, Myron, the father of our first grandchild. This is for you who have made William and me the happiest parents in the whole world. Your soon-to-be-born child will be... At that very moment, Lenny was struck and paralyzed to speak.
Mama?
Lenny? What's happening to you, Lenny? Lenny, what is going on with you? She slowly turns to William. William, I've kept a secret from you all these years. Trina goes to her.
Here, sit down, Mama.
What? Did you throw away another ring when I went to war? No, Will. I don't understand, Lenny. After you left to fight in the war, my Aunt Abby was the only one I could trust, and she knew exactly what should be done. Lenny, what are you talking about? I was only 18 then, and I sat in a small Brooklyn room as Abby held my hand.
What are you talking about, Mama?
The doctors told me that I would die if I were to try to give birth to our child, William. I had to make a choice of either losing our child or losing you. Am I a murderer, Lenny? I was only 18 when I went to war. I've never told you this before. I was a sniper in my regiment. When I looked through my rifle scope and focused on a young man's face, I would think as I slowly squeezed the trigger that his mama and papa would never see their son again. When the war was over, I came home to you and to my family. They gave me a hero's party. Everyone there was slapping me on my back and saying, "God bless you, and you're our hero." What they did not know in me rushing into the bathroom, locking the door and crying like a baby and seeing faces who never went home anymore. You're no more as a murderer, Lenny, than I am when we were only 18 years old. We had to make hard decisions to stay alive. And I often think about all the young women today who have to make their decisions too, like you and me. And they too are not murderers, just like you and me. William cups Lenny's hand into his hand, and as Myron and Trina stands behind Lenny, and embracing her while the lights slowly dim to black. The end.